indeedy. Looks like we made it. This Friday edition of the Jerry Doyle Show. Stop, you get me. Is that a follow-up to yesterday where I felt like a stallion running around in the fields, clacking my hoofs together because of the electricity in the air, or because of the poll question today at the website? Friday here on the Jerry Doyle Show. Good to have you on board. We thank you, as always, for taking some of your time to spend it with us here on the program.
You're getting it right from the horse's mouth.
Flying a little turbulent, our women a little crazy, and our politics a little messy. Jesse, who thought Mr. Ed was a zebra, that disqualifies you from any and all
Mr.
input
Ed
on
was
the program.
A zebra. I'm just sticking
It's
to
still
it.
No, and you know what? It was the stupidity of your support for that notion because of black and white television and the stripes on the zebra wouldn't show up. You not only went with a really bad premise, you just went with really lousy supporting documentation. Jesse's still producing the program. 3, 2, 1. Yes, he still is. Don producing and working the dials. Here's the poll question today. Wow, talk about giving it away before we get to it. Horse, it's what's for dinner? Congress has cleared the way for horse meat to start showing up for human consumption by early 2012. Question is, will you be chowing down on Mr. Ed and his four-legged friends? Saddle me up, I'm game. Not a chance in hell. It would depend on the price. What's next? Dogs and cats? Or a perfect time to go vegan? Only 6% of the people say, saddle me up, I'm game. 39% say, not a chance in hell. 10% say, it'd depend upon the price. 39% say, what's next? Cats and dogs? And 6% say, it's a perfect time to go gray. I mean vegan. Because that's pretty much how they end up looking. Gray with really nasty breath. What is it? What's that toothpaste, Don, that the vegans use?
For the clay stuff?
What? Yeah,
Like Tom's of Maine?
Tom's Clay or something like that. Yeah. I guess the beauty of being a vegan is you could be lost in the middle of the desert. You could just, at any time, just drop down and brush your teeth. Just run right across the ground. You can answer it there at the website or here at 800-876-4123. I have been informed by the boys in the booth that we have managed to put together a string of current flubs of the week. We don't have to go to the archives. We don't have to go to classic rock or classic flubs, because apparently I've been flubbalicious enough recently that they've been managing to string together some of my finest linguistic abilities here on the program.
I give you
the
line, Jerry.
I just want to see if you're going to hit it.
And now,
What?
Jerry's Flubs of the Week.
69% of respondents say the country is in decline. When we get back on the program, plus, that's not getting it done for the people. Grassroots. That's where it is. Never worried about people putting apples in razor blades. And if you recall, we were talking about Stuart Bowen, who's the Special Inspector General. Former employees of the association are telling Bloomberg News, nerds, yeah, that's appropriate. That family had a sense of humor. Which is kind of what Obama was talking about in his speech at Arizona State University. That you would have think. I was talking a little Italiano there. The fault lies with both the Repums. Rum pum 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 pum. That was a flub. The campaign's going to kick off next year. It's the brainchild of the Chidled? I've been chidled before. To meet the needs of the special needs kids, they decided to reclassify them. Right now, smallpox vaccines are being stored at $3 per.
Jerry's Flubs of the Week.
Go get your smallpox vaccine.
Oh, God. That was pretty damn good. I got to tell you. Who listens to this program anyway? And please keep the hate mail coming, because I do love it. It's just, you know what's funny? The mail now is kind of like, I've become persona non grata because, you know, people out there love their candidate and they hate their candidate. They love
Newt Gingrich.
I know.
You're going to leave the show.
Has the uber turd of the Republican Party floated to the top of a punch bowl or what? I mean, when you're looking to define everything that's wrong, yeah, I have that kind of power. No, Newt Gingrich is the uber turd. He is everything that's wrong with the Republican Party. And he's at the top of the pile. It's amazing to watch people and to listen to people in my business that are now trying to walk on Herman Cain. Oh, he fooled me. Hey, pulled the wool over our eyes. Well, do you think if it's a smear, it's time for you to go anyway to save your family? And I've helped a lot of people, Sean.
Amazing
I've
grace.
I've helped men and I've helped women throughout my career. And this was a woman that I helped in these tough economic times. And in the interview, what would have been the logical follow-up there? Can you name one? Can you give me two? But you just happen to give this broad money that you didn't tell your wife about because you're so benevolent. And I was watching the focus group phony show last night, Hannity on Fox. And the whole buildup to this whole Herman Cain thing with Hannity was the anatomy of a smear. That wasn't there last night. You know what was there last night? Herman hysteria. It's the hysteria over Herman Cain that's causing Herman to have to make his announcement tomorrow in Georgia. A significant announcement about the future of his campaign. Then I listened to others in my business. Oh, no one's perfect. No one's. You know what's amazing in this age of technology is we know more about people than we've ever known about them before, and some things that we probably don't even want to know about them. And now here we are trying to find someone who's perfect. As I say that, the paper is holding my currently nicotine-stained fingers. Not looking for perfection, looking for consistency. That's what we're looking for. But when you constantly get behind and cheerlead, I got some guy that sends me an email, says that your assertion that Fox is an arm of the Republican Party is absurd. There's no truth to it. Really? Really? There's no truth to it at all. Okay. How did Newt Gingrich get to the top of the pile? Because I want you to listen to an interview that took place this morning on Fox with Ed Rollins, and they were talking about Newt Gingrich. Never underestimate him, but listen to what's important and what Newt Gingrich doesn't have. But yet, he's at the top of the pile.
Newt has never lacked confidence, and I should say you should never underestimate Newt. I've known him for 40 years. I've been a friend. I've been an ally. At the end of the day, he's got to get 1,145 delegates. That's half of the 2288 that you need. It's a long, tedious process. He's now leading in the polls. He now has momentum. Oftentimes, it happens in these races, though, when the momentum catches up to the lack of organization, a campaign gets
Does he have organization? Does he have the structure?
He has no structure whatsoever.
Newt Gingrich has no structure whatsoever. Ed Rollins said the entire campaign is Newt and his wife, Callista. That's it. So how does that guy who has no structure, no platform or ability to do what's necessary to do on the ground, like Michelle Bachmann's people did in Iowa, like Ron Paul's people did in Iowa, like Herman Cain's people started to do, even though he didn't have the appropriate infrastructure in place, but he started to develop as his numbers went up and got at least to the point where he was putting together a credible team. Right now, Newt Gingrich has no structure whatsoever. So how does he get to the top of the pile? How does he get to that enormous 38-17 lead over Mitt Romney? Because Newt Gingrich has been on Fox 52 times since he announced his candidacy. 52 times this cat has been on Fox. And he was on last night with the focus group phony Sean Hannity. And he was the night before. And he was talking to, an hour. They give Newt Gingrich an hour. That's how you get to the top of the pile. Because you sit there and throw softball questions at him. Because, see, a lot of these guys like Hannity, and a lot of the guys in my business, they're like the cheerleader that everybody nailed on the football team. That's what they are. They're popular because everybody's nailing them. You don't bring her home to meet mom. You don't take her to the prom. But she's popular because why? You can use her. But here's the interesting news on Fox and Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich had this to say about a question that was asked about HIV and AIDS. Newt Gingrich said, I can't answer that question because I don't know. He said one of the real changes comes when you start running for president, as opposed to being an analyst on Fox. The difference is, as a candidate, I actually have to know what I'm talking about. Now, I've been watching Fox all day to wait for the reply from Fox. Because Newt Gingrich just said everybody on Fox is an idiot that will say anything, and it doesn't matter because they're cheering for the home team and dismissing everything that everybody else does. Roger Ailes, who is the GOP kingmaker, that according to Reuters, that according to Roger Ailes. Do you understand why Newt Gingrich, who's as uppity as they come, as two-faced as he is, as self-motivated as he is all about, how does he get there? Because they created him. And the problem that people in my business have, Republican talk radio, I'm not in Republican talk radio. I'm a former Republican congressional nominee, now independent for about 5 or 6 years. The problem is that the people in my business who have been cheerleading for the Republican Party and candidates, and Fox, who is the kingmaker, the creator, the problem that they run into is that if they start to expose these people that they've been cheering for, if they call BS on these candidates, then that would leave them exposed as the true cheerleaders that they are. They can't tear down on policy Kane or Gingrich or Bachmann. They can't go after them because they've been cheering for them and they've been supporting them and they've been propping them up. And think about this. The emailers who say, well, you never really see a Republican on MSNBC. No, who cares? Nobody watches. Newt Gingrich has been on Fox News 52 times since he declared his candidacy. And before that, he was paid to be on Fox. And they never questioned what he said on Fox because everything he said was go, 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 pro, 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 Republican, Republican all the way. And now the biggest, fleshiest, spineless, useless turd in the GOP punch bowl is now floating to the surface. And people don't like what they see.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
But they can't say anything about it. But didn't you say at one point that he was the best? Didn't you say that this was a high-tech lynching? And didn't you say that this was the anatomy of a smear? Yes, I did. Well, what are you saying now? Well, it's Herman hysteria. That's the reality, folks. You can beat me up all you want. And you can say that I'm doing a disservice to the Republican Party. And I'm helping to get Obama reelected. No, quite the opposite. You who choose to ignore reality and continue to support these failed candidates with these loser social leading issues like abortion and gay marriage, you're the problem. I'm not. Stick with me.
The Jerry Doyle Show.